baby boomers, these soft, fruity baby boomers, are raising an entire generation of soft, fruity kids who aren't even allowed to have hazardous toys, for Christ's sakes. Hazardous toys. Whatever happened to natural selection, survival of the fittest? The kid who swallows too many marbles doesn't grow up to have kids of his own. Simple as that. Simple.
The late, great George Carlin often shared his thoughts on overprotective parenting on stage. So what kind of father was he? A new book by his daughter Kelly sheds light on that very question, titled A Carlin Home Companion, Growing Up with George. It is on sale right now, and we are so excited to have Kelly Carlin here at the table with us. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, you guys.
So your dad called you guys the Three Musketeers.
He did.
This book is so candid. It's self-deprecating. It tells you so many of the details you wouldn't think a daughter would want to share. Why did you want to write it?
Well, I grew up with the greatest truth teller of the second half of the 20th century. You know, I mean, that's what our family does. We tell the truth. And I wanted to write it because it's a survivor's story. I really believe that even though it's a unique, it's George Carlin, our story is like the average American story. We had dysfunction, we had addiction, depression, anxiety. I had agoraphobia, some abusive relationships. It's stuff that a lot of people can relate to.
We all know your dad, of course. You describe your mom as dad's lover, party girl, and press agent all rolled into one. What was the dynamic in this family when you were growing up?
Well, my parents, it was like a fairy tale, them meeting and coming together. And then I came along and,
Look at you, there you are.
And my dad, you know, he was this clean-cut comic who had a lot of success. And my mother had a drinking problem during my childhood, but our dynamic was that we were very close, very loyal, very loving. We were this little Three Musketeers unit, and there was some real chaotic, dark times that I'm very honest about. But what you get, I think, and people have told me in the book, is you get the love, that there was real love that helped us make our way through it.
Well, what was it like to be on that roller coaster? Because you attended so many of the shows, including the famous one in Milwaukee that got him arrested. I mean, what was it like to watch your dad go through all that fame?
It was two things. It was exciting and overwhelming, and then like that Milwaukee show, it was terrifying. I mean, there we were backstage, and my dad's saying the 7 dirty words in front of thousands of people that, you know, and everyone, and the cops are there. The promoter comes up and says they're going to arrest him the minute he gets off stage. And my dad had drugs in his pocket, and my mother went on stage to warn him, you need to leave stage the other way. And we all rushed back. She hid the drugs. Everything happened. And then we suddenly opened the door, and there are the cops. And I'm about 9 years old, and I think, I'll never see him again. They're taking him away, and this is terrifying.
How old were you then?
I was 9. It was 1972 when that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You describe in the book, you say that listening to music with your father, which you did a lot, was like little life rafts in the middle of all this chaos.
You know, music was my dad's soul, really. And he grew up on the streets, the Upper West Side of New York, right next to Harlem. He called it Irish Harlem, where they grew up. And I would come out in the middle of the night, and my dad would be listening to music, and he'd have his headsets on, and he'd come over, come here, you got to hear this. And he'd put them on, and it would be like Tubular Bells or something crazy like that, you know, and it'd be like, wow. And so he and I had a deep, deep connection around that.
It was also interesting in the book, there's some excerpts just about how, I guess, introverted he was. At home, he was always writing. He didn't hit the social scene like you see so many people in the limelight right now. What was his first response when he saw some of your writing about what was happening in your family life when he was still alive?
You know, it was hard for him. He wasn't an autobiographical comic. He wasn't like Richard Pryor, who kind of unzipped himself on stage. My dad talked about ideas and things outside of himself, and it was personal to him, but it wasn't personal. And when I wrote my first solo show, he said the words, you know, I feel betrayed by this. And what he felt betrayed by was that I didn't come to him and say, Dad, this is what I'm feeling, this is what's going on. But I was more willing to go on a stage and talk about these things. And it actually, that moment, even though it was a crisis in our relationship, it brought us together, and we really did learn to talk to each other.
Do you think there's a reason he didn't talk about his family much in his comedy?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if it was a personal preference or just his style or his age. I mean, he was born in '37, a different generation. I don't know. I'm from the Oprah generation.
It's all out
I'm
there.
here to share myself with the world.
I wish your dad was still around, though, in this political climate.
Oh, are you kidding?
It would be great.
It would be amazing.
All right,
absolutely.
The book is A Carlin Home Companion. Kelly Carlin, thank you so much for being with us this morning, and good luck with the book.
Thank you for having me.